Light it.
Welcome back to the Triple Option presented by Wendy's. Cool guest this week for us. And I'll admit, Mark Ingram was the booker on this one, right? And for good reason. Scott Cochran, welcome to the Triple Option, head coach at West Alabama. You and Mark go way back to the strength and conditioning days. We're going to talk about your battle with addiction as well. You have such a compelling story that will impact so many people out there. But let's start with football. And let's start with your former weight room guy, Mark Ingram, man. How was Mark in the weight room for you back in the days?
Oh, man,
in Bama?
he was soft. He didn't do it. No. No, he was a grinder. Back then there wasn't a lot of like computers and stuff in the weight room, but we videoed everything. And he was in the workout group behind a couple of other guys, and he would always want to know, hey, what did Coffee power clean?
Wow.
What did Trent power clean? Like, he wanted to know what those guys did so that he could go beat their number, right? Because he was a later workout. And so he had the option to actually push the envelope. So it was really cool to see him grind.
Hey, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in before, because I think Mark's going to drive this. But, Coach, congratulations. And I know you very little, but I know of you. And obviously competed against you. I think this is real interesting that Coach Saban and myself, I'd like to think that, I think Coach Ferentz, but early on in my career, I was the strength coach. I was the sports performance guy. Even way before all that stuff took place. And then I met Mickey Marotti, he was actually the number 2. People don't realize this, that if I was not at work for some reason recruiting, Coach Marotti ran the program. He was the assistant head coach. He ran everything. And the trust that I put into him, and I talked to Coach Saban, he had the same feelings for you. You were number 2. And when did that transform that the strength coaches, because there was a day you paid them $50,000 and they were someone else. Now they're being respected the way they should. When did that transition take place from being a strength coach to basically running a program when the head coach wasn't there?
I think I would say it was all relationship, right? Coach Saban needed to kind of groom me, coach me to become that. And I think it took probably by my 3rd year at Alabama, which would have been 2010. I really he kind of gave me the keys in the summer when he would when he would go recruiting or he would have vacation time. So it took about 3 years for him to trust that on me.
Hey, Coach, man, you were everything to me, man. Like, you say it took you 3 years, but you was doing that like in 08 when I got there as a true freshman, man. Like, you was running the groups, you was putting us through warm-ups, you was breaking us down, man. And you had an integral part in my development as a player and as a man, at Alabama, man. So I just want to say I love you. I appreciate you. 8 national championships. You got over 50 first-round draft picks, over 200 guys drafted in the NFL. Just an amazing human being, an amazing coach, an amazing person, and I love you to death, man. So through your whole journey, man, just tell me, how did you get this job to be the coach at West Alabama, man? Like, this came out of nowhere, man, and I love it, bro. Like, tell us a story, man. How'd this come about?
I'm telling you, it came out of nowhere. I was literally, so it was December, and I was starting to get that itch back, like, man, I need to be back coaching. I really need to be back around players and influencing and helping players. And the phone started ringing. A couple of SEC schools called about a strength job. A couple of NFL guys called. And then I had some special teams opportunities. And it just didn't feel right. And then January, I get a phone call from a guy who was I didn't know this at the time, but he was a board of trustees here. And I thought he was calling about nonprofit stuff, about me coming to speak to his organization. And he goes, no, I need you to be the head coach at West Alabama. I'm like, I started laughing. I'm like, wait, you sure you on the phone with the right guy? like, are you sure?
Yeah.
And I was like, and then second, where is that located at? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'd never
Where
heard
is
of
it?
It's in Livingston, Alabama. It's an hour from Tuscaloosa.
Okay. So you
So
close to home.
Yeah, so we're between like Meridian, Mississippi and Tuscaloosa. We're right there between those two. And man, when I got the call, it was, obviously it's Division II, so it wasn't near the money that I was getting kind of thrown at me by these other schools. But it just felt right.
Mm.
I mean, it just like is almost like God said, "Here, this
Yeah.
is your spot. This is where I want you to help young men thrive." And man, every day, I'm telling you, every single day, something happens. I mean, just getting to talk to you today, like, I mean, what a blessing, one of my favorite guys to ever coach, and I get to, talk to you today. So like, it's like every single day, God shows me something special about the place and where I'm at to like prove like, hey, this is where you're supposed to be.
I love it. And one thing I love the most is your coaching staff, bro. You are going back to players who you coached, who you know what they built on. You know they pedigree.
Who's on it, Mark? Tell
Man,
me
he got O.J. Howard. He got Blake Sims. He has Damian Square.
Yep.
He has Bo Scarborough. You talk about
Ooh.
alpha dogs, coach. Alpha dogs who's going to push players to the limit, know what it takes. He has them on his coaching staff, and I love it, man. So tell me about what went into hiring your staff and why you chose to go get some of your former players.
Well, okay, so there's one coming out that I'm not supposed to talk about yet, so we're gonna talk about it.
Go ahead, break it on the
Go ahead, break it on the show. Let's break it. Reggie Ragland is coming in. So Reggie Ragland has done all the paperwork and all the stuff. So we're gonna blast this probably next week or later on in the week. But Reggie Ragland is coming in. I haven't figured out the best title for him yet. He wants to be assistant linebackers. So of course that he can do that. But I was thinking director of player support, player engagement. OJ Howard's my player, director of player development. Blake Sims is wide receivers. Ronnie Clark is running backs. Thomas Fletcher is special teams coordinator. And Damian Square's D line. So I've brought in probably about 7 to 8 players that I've coached. And honestly, it's an easy decision. My phone's ringing with former players saying, "Hey, how can I help?" And I'm not going to say no, because to me, when you can give back to this game that has given you so much, like the amount of gratitude and the amount of appreciation that these young men are now going to have for giving back to the game and giving back to these young men that are starving. I mean, these players are starving to be great. Like, they don't know how, but they're begging, like, what more can I do, coach? What more can I do? You know? And it's just been incredible,
I love it. This is amazing. I'm so happy for you, coach.
Coach Cochran, you have lived a life, right? 8 national titles between your time at LSU and Bama and Georgia. You also are a recovering addict.
Yes.
And you had an overdose in 2010. And I know that is a major part of your story and who you are right now. Give us just a quick update on how you become an addict, how you overcame it, and what you do now to support those out in the world who need that type of assistance.
Yeah. So, I started getting migraines really bad, like 2009, 2010. And, I went to the docs and the docs were like, "Hey, why don't you stop yelling?"
That's what he's known for.
Yeah. I was like, "How about this, doc? Why don't you stop breathing? How about that?" That's what you're asking me to do. And so he put me on, a few different medications and nothing really worked. And then he wrote me a script for Oxy. And, you know, he told me, right? He said, you know, this is addictive. You got to be careful. Man, listen, I'm the head strength coach at Alabama. I'm winning national championships. I'm on the Jumbotron. I'm on 60 Minutes. I'm on ESPN. Like, I'm not going to get addicted to these things. You know, like, that's just not happening. But sure enough, by 2015, it got completely out of control. And it was running my life. You know, I was snorting pills. I wasn't even taking them anymore. I was snorting them. And it was a daily grind every single day. I mean, it was for 10 full years, it was every day. And so in 2020, you know, I thought, hey, if I go to Georgia, I won't need drugs anymore. You know, I won't be yelling as much. Maybe I can just quit. And it got worse. You know, it got worse when I got to Georgia. And in 2010, in 2020, I overdosed. April 10th, 2020, I overdosed. My wife found me dead. It was during COVID, and she found me on the ground, called the 911. They, you know, got me to and so I started my journey of recovery. And so, you know, I've had multiple setbacks since my first rehab. So I've gone to 3 different rehabs. I'm almost 14 months right now. Come on, baby.
Let's go, coach. Let's go.
Let's go, coach. Yeah.
So I'm 14 months now. And, you know, there was a point where I had to step away from the game to get my life together. So the end of the season at Georgia, we played Florida State, and I told Kirby, I was like, hey, I've had a setback. I need to get my life together. I'm going to step away for a little while. And I need to just break ties, not like last time where I went to rehab for 100 days and then came back on staff. I was like, you know, I needed to step away. And that's when I started a nonprofit. It's the American Addiction Recovery Association. You can find us at eliminatethewhisper.org. And just see the cool stuff that we're doing. You know, the biggest thing that I think is we're trying to eliminate stigma, because this disease is surrounded by stigma. You know, when I went to rehab the second time and people knew about it and it was public, nobody brought my wife a casserole, right? Like, not that they shunned her, but it was like, oh, you got that problem? I don't want anything to do with y'all. And that sucks. But that's what this disease does to people. It makes people like, oh, I don't want to be associated with that, you know? So we started this nonprofit, and man, it's saving my life every day. And I know I've saved hundreds of people's lives just by speaking out against this disease.
Hey, Coach Cochran, and my daughter, this is years ago, one day she had ankle surgery. And I get home and I started hearing it because Oxy and what's the other one? Vicodin?
Vicodin, yes, sir.
You just didn't hear much about it. And then it became like an everyday, you know. And so I remember I came home and I asked Shelly, I said, you know what? And they gave her a bottle of 40 pills. And I grabbed those pills. I was like, wait a minute. And I went into, I don't want to get it because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I went into Ohio State. And I went to our training staff and I said, so when our guys have surgery, what happens? And they get these, and it's, you know what it says on it, Rob, back then? It said 2 refills. So you're getting this massive, I'm saying 40.
More than you need.
It might have been 30.
Oof.
It should be 1. And so I'm not a doctor, but I jumped right in the middle of that. And I said, we are not doing that. We're not, if they want to keep coming to you, give them a couple of time. And I remember someone saying, you can't do that because of, I don't know, privacy or HIPAA or whatever. That's, I said, no, I don't, fire me then. We're doing it. We are not having these massive bottles with refills I think, don't they sell for like $20 on the street or something?
Oh, yeah.
The black market is crazy. Yeah.
And so I remember we stopped it at Ohio State. We said, we're not, and I know it's stopped now. I think it is. You can't get, imagine that. A bottle with 40 and 2 refills on it.
Yeah.
And you should maybe take 2, right? And then you're done. I don't think you take any, but so I just wondered, has that changed? You're in the nonprofit now. I'm hoping that I'm out of the game now. Has that changed? They don't do that anymore, right?
I can only tell you what we did at LSU and Bama and Georgia. And the players never got a bottle filled, that the trainers or however it was done, they filled it and they kept it. And they'd give them an envelope at night with 2 pills in it, like, hey, if you need this for sleep, this is it. But after about 3 days, it was gone. They never got another one. So they never got to the addictive side. And it's amazing what I've found and seen with my own eyes. Sometimes the numbers don't add up, but the players, it seems like players don't really like pills. There's a big fear there, whether they have family members or not. But I've seen that at all 4 places I've been, that players just don't like when they say, hey, here's some pills for the pain. Their first thing is like, whoa, I'm not doing that. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, Coach, man, it's just a humbling story for me. Like, from a guy who looked up to you, who looks up to you, a guy who grew so much from you. You were like Superman to me. I felt like you could do no wrong. Like, so for you to, have that problem, it just shows me how, vulnerable, how delicate, a human could be. I just treasure. I treasure your story. I treasure you. I love you to death, and I'm just so proud of you for being 14 months sober and for the impact that you're having, being the president of your nonprofit and everything you got going on, man. I love you to death, and I just want to know, man, being through so much, what do you plan to build for the student athletes at West Alabama?
Man, I'll tell you this. It is so awesome here because the players are starving, right? They want to be great. But they asked me early on in this process, what does success look like to you? And success to me is not a like this season, next season. It's 15 years from now, 10 years from now, when a player can walk back on campus with their family and be a great husband, a great father, and have a legacy here at UWA. Because if you go on Alabama's campus, because of the championships, and obviously Mark's an outlier because he's a Heisman Trophy winner, but just say one of his teammates, if they walk back on Alabama's campus, their name is in the bricks in Denny Chime saying that they were a member of a national championship team. That means the world to former players, and for them to say, hey, look what your dad did. Like, look what your dad has done. Because it's rare that, we're beating on our chest in front of our kids. They never really learn anything about their own, parents until you say, hey, this is who I am.
Yeah.
So that to me is the key to all of this. So I'm putting a premium on academics.
Yes.
And that's not just coach talk, like a premium on academics. We got a really good academic program here. It's really cool because like it's such a small school that like if you're in the engineering program, for every 9 students, there's 1 professor. Like, come on. Like,
Yes.
if you can't pass in that situation, then hey, just jump over to the business school. And if that doesn't work, jump on to general studies, or go to education. Like, there's so many possibilities here. And I didn't even know where this place was located before I got the call.
Put it on the map, Coach. Put it on the map now.
Yep, we rooting for him.
Baby.
Hey, your energy is infectious. I understand how you used to be, in charge of the weight room with these guys, right? In strength and conditioning. It seems obvious to an outsider like me.
I got to show you some clips of him, man. I got to show you some clips of him, man.
I bet I'm going to be able to hear it. I bet I can hear it coming down the hallway.
When the doctor says, tell him to stop screaming, it was like a legit,
please stop screaming.
It was a legit request.
Hey, Coach Cochran, I just want to go back to the addiction side of it real quickly. And I don't want to harbor on this. And we talked about how the education of opioid addictions has really changed, and obviously for the better. Also, there's a drug out there, Narcan, that can save people's lives. Have you ever administered Narcan to anybody?
I have not personally, but I had it administered to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a survivor because of Narcan. And so, man, it's a beautiful thing that they've created. And part of my nonprofit is to actually get Narcan across the country in every high school and every college, so that kids can go just wherever there's a fire extinguisher, wherever there's an AED, a defibrillator, have a box of Narcan, because you have 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, you're dealing with being brain dead. After 6 minutes, you're no longer here. So Narcan is a huge, and I've never administered it personally, but I've seen it done multiple times and brought people back to life, which has been very crazy for me to see, because knowing I was sitting in that chair, 2020.
Yeah. Coach, man, how's your young bull doing, man? I be seeing him in the weight room. I be seeing him getting after.
He's gonna play for me.
He's playing.
He's gonna play.
Let's
for
go.
Me. He's got his senior year coming up, and then he's playing for his dad.
Let's go.
So nice.
Let's go.
You tell me God isn't great. I mean, come on.
All the time.
I mean, come on, baby.
Come on, man. That's a blessing there, man. But Coach, man, it's an honor, it's a privilege to have you on the show, man. I love you to death, man. You are up here when it talks about people who have an impact on my life, coaching and how they impact players, and you are the epitome of that for me. So I just want to say I love you to death, and we do something special on the show, man. We've been peppering you, we've been hitting you with questions for 20 minutes. We give you a chance, man, to ask any one of us a question, man. That anything, any one of us, any question you got, you can go ahead and ask us, bro.
Well,
you got a national championship coach. You got the best host in all of college sports, bowling, everything. And
you better not ask it to me. That's all I'm saying. You better not ask it to me, Coach.
I am. All I want to do is talk a little trash to Coach Meyer. Because
let's go.
What's your record against Coach Meyer? Do you know it? I'm 2-1 versus him.
No, you're not.
He claims that. He claims the 2010 season he wasn't the coach there. Coach Cox, he claims he wasn't there in the 2010 season. So I
was there, but I wasn't there.
Okay. But 2010, did we play Florida in 2010?
Oh, yes, we did. We had him at home, and we spanked that ass.
Oh, I forgot about that one. So
we played each other in 2 championship games. No, 1, 2, 3, 3 championship games.
You and Cox.
I'm not sure the record, but I think we're 2-1 against you guys.
Yeah, I think I'm 2-2 because I didn't think of 2010. That's interesting.
2-2?
Yeah, is that right? Because 08 lost, 09 won, 10 won, 14 lost. Is there another one?
Yeah, 2-2. You're right. But 10 didn't count. That was just a regular.
It does count. Game. You were the coach on the sideline for that team.
Championship games, 2-1.
There's film
bro.
of it.
Scott. I love you to death and much respect. You're 1-2 against me in championship games, pal.
You just can't.
And you got it. And you got to deal with that today. The rest of your day, both you guys.
That's okay.
You have to deal with the realization that you were the coach of Florida Gators in 2010. Let's go.
Okay, I got one thing though. I have one thing I honestly want to talk about because I think that y'all would love this and would jump on board. Okay, my nonprofit, one of the biggest things that we are trying to do is when you think of October, when you think of the color pink, it reminds you of Susan G. Komen and what she did for breast cancer. Now October, everybody's pink. Well, September is recovery month, and our color is purple. So I've got Nike. I'm working with Under Armour. I'm trying to get Adidas on board to develop purple gear so that in the month of September, high schools, colleges, Britt Reed, Andy Reid's son, is on my board of directors. He's going to help me with the NFL. But we are trying to make September purple across the country so that we can eliminate this stigma. Because look, 200 Americans are dying a day due to fentanyl poisoning and overdoses. And we're not even talking about alcohol. We're just talking about the fentanyl overdoses.
Wow.
That's what happened to me, was fentanyl poisoning. And so if you go to eliminatethewhisper.org, you can order purple stuff. We'll have that on the website probably by the middle of April. So a month from now, you can order it for your team. You can order it for your volleyball team, your cheerleaders, your football players. We're going to have purple mouthpieces, purple socks, the purple ribbon. So that's something that I really wanted to, tell y'all about, because I think it's something everybody can get around,
Anything you got, Coach, send it to me. And I got your back 1,000%. You tell me where I can order it. EliminateTheWhisper.org.
Yes, sir.
EliminateTheWhisper.org. I'm going on there. I'm ordering my stuff. And guess
gonna
what?
get it now.
September when I'm on Big Noon, I'm rocking that purple suit. I'm gonna make sure I got me one ready.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on, Coach. We've lost him with the yeahs, but I love it. Hey, you got 2 new fans in yourself, Coach Cochran. Congratulations and best of luck in your continuing battle. I know it never ends.
That's right.
We're cheering for you. We're cheering for your football program. Let's go West Alabama.
Let's go West
God
Alabama.
bless you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so
National
much for joining us
championship
on the
for Coach
Triple Option,
Let's
Coach
go.
Cochran. Let's go West Alabama.
Let's go.
Baby. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Light it.